Well, first things first, we don't have another Helene coming. That's the good news, okay? We don't have another 8-foot wall of water, but we will have a flash flood threat. Heavy rain in the forecast, like our weather team's been talking about all week long, coming our way late Sunday. And as we wake up Monday, a little break and then maybe another wave Tuesday into Wednesday with a little bit more wind in there. But as we look at the big picture, good news is Kirk, a major hurricane, is going to continue to recurve out over the open Atlantic. OK, so not impacting us, but we will have some dangerous rip currents on the east coast of the U.S. And then Leslie, that should also stay out in the open seas, and then a weak disturbance. But of course, all eyes. Let's get right to the big story. High risk now of a name system here coming close to home once again. In fact, you can see the next name would be Milton. All right, not expecting a big hurricane, anything like that. Maybe at strongest a Cat 1, but at this point it could be even a hybrid, like a subtropical low. Some high storms, a much smaller system, right, than Helene. And based on the latest track, would likely stay more to the south of us as we head into Tuesday and the first part of Wednesday again. And with that, that would keep the winds offshore, not onshore. So that's why we're not looking for a big storm impact as far as storm surge. But what we will see, this is important, tropical downpours, 3 to 6 inches of rain, and that flash flood threat. So keep checking back with us here at 10 Tampa Bay. We got Tony and Troy, everybody in the back ready for you. And we've got that weather impact alert officially late Sunday, Monday with that first wave of rain, and then that second, maybe bigger wave of rain we're watching. It could be Milton late Tuesday into Wednesday with high chances of rain. And look what happens once we clear this out. Much better late week.
Weather Impact Alert Days only on 10 Tampa Bay. Keeping you informed, prepared, and connected. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay.
From scammers to price gouging, some people are trying to take advantage of hurricane victims. The warnings that you should be looking out for. And getting you back on your feet following the storm. How an event this weekend is helping to answer your top insurance questions.
Everybody's working for the weekend.
I don't know if everybody's working for the weekend, but I know Jenny Dean and Mike Prangley are.
Yes.
We are in here ready for you. Here for you to answer all your questions. We know everybody's trying to get in this one nice day before we have to start thinking about the forecast for early next week. So, you know what? Good Saturday morning, everyone. I'm Jenny Dean. Let's bring in meteorologist Mike Prangley. And Mike, you know,
Jenny,
everybody's hoping for a nice day today because, you know, we need it.
We do.
Just need
We
this
do.
moment.
We're all exhausted. We've been cleaning,
Yes.
checking on friends and family. We deserve a beautiful day, and that's what we've ordered up for you. I'll give Jenny Dean the credit on that one. So let's go outside, and we've earned it. We deserve it. Let's get out and soak up some of that sunshine. Yeah, don't forget the sunscreen. I don't want any sunburns out there, but we look at the Ascent St. Pete camera. It's 83 degrees. We got an east-northeast wind at 10 miles per hour. Now, hey, I'm transparent. I'm 100% so as your meteorologist here. I've texted the family between shows, and I said, we got to be ready. All right, we got to once again be ready, especially Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Could have another system as a hurricane, Milton, coming our way. So let's just enjoy it. Ladies, Dunedin, I know the last thing you want to hear is another tropical system heading toward Florida. Well, this week we could have that. It's 81 degrees, 83 in Safety Harbor. I miss my pier, and I love my running around that pier. But again, we're going to rebuild, and we'll get through this together. We take a look at our radar, and we take a look at the severe clear now. But we got two systems we're watching. Now, the first system, this is important. This one's going to bring more of an inch or two of rain, okay, as we go into the first part of this forecast. That would be late Sunday into Monday, and then a break. And then the second system, that's what I'm more concerned about. Latest models are a little more robust. That this could become not just a tropical storm, but maybe a Cat 1 hurricane as it makes a move towards South Florida. It looks like as we head into the middle of next week. But again, I think impacts felt throughout Florida once again as these systems line up and move our way. Our big impacts will still be what we've been telling you all week, the flash flooding and the flooding. Okay, so 3 to 6 inches plus of rain. We'll take a look at those impacts and time them out to your neighborhood coming right up.
All right. Today, some areas are opening up sandbag locations just to make sure you have what you need to be ready. In Tampa, you can get sandbags at the Himes Avenue Complex or Al Barnes Park from now until 5 o'clock. There is a limit of 10 bags per household. Bags will also be available in Bradenton and Sarasota. We have a complete list with those locations and hours on our free 10 Tampa Bay app. Storm debris covers much of the coast, and people want it hauled away as soon as possible. But some contractors, they're breaking the law, and they're trying to take advantage of victims. Police in Newport Richey arrested a man they say cut corners on where to dump the debris. 10 Tampa Bay's Chris Hurst reports. 10 Tampa Bay's Chris Hurst reporting. Now, of course, if you don't want to wait for the county to come take the debris, then make sure you've taken all the photos and videos your home and flood insurance adjusters tell you to take. And if you want a FEMA grant, you need to go ahead and check in with them as well. Well, it's not just scammers, some business price gouging. The Attorney General's office says Hillsborough and Pinellas and Pasco counties have the highest number of consumers reporting this. Most concerns center on fuel prices. Right now, the Attorney General's office has 350 reports, and they're actively investigating 160 of them. And they want to remind you that the price gouging hotline is open. You can report the business to the state online, over the phone, at the number on your screen, or through the No Scam app. Keeping you informed this morning, you can get your personal insurance questions answered today and tomorrow in Clearwater. The state is hosting a Hurricane Helene Insurance Village. Right now, Hurricane Helene is responsible for about $900 million in property damage. And for many of you, this is the first time submitting an insurance claim. This weekend, about 30 carriers are on hand to answer questions and assist you through the claims process. Florida CFO Jimmy Petronas says he hopes these face-to-face meetings will help you through the process.
You're overwhelmed, you're getting your things out to the side of the road that will be hauled off. I want your claim working immediately. And sometimes coming here in person is just a little bit of an easier way to do it.
The Insurance Village is set up at the Long Center in Clearwater today and Sunday. The center is now open, and it wraps up at 5 o'clock both days. Well, the IRS is extending tax deadlines for people and businesses hit by Hurricane Helene. Now you'll have until May 1st of next year to file federal taxes and to make payments. The agency originally delayed returns and payments to February because of Tropical Storm Debbie. Officials say this applies to those who had a valid extension to file their 2023 return, which was due October 15th. The extension also applies to any payment normally due last month in January and in April. Affected taxpayers also have the option to claim disaster-related casualty losses on their income tax return for either the year in which the event occurred or the prior year. Now, if you or someone you know needs help, go to 10tampabay.com/recovery. Right there, we have a list of all the resources that are available right now across the Bay Area, including housing help, cleaning services, hot food, and free laundry services. New video this morning from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office as deputies arrested two 18-year-olds for burglary. This happened late Thursday night in Seffner. Deputies responded to reports of two people trying to open car doors around Lemon Avenue. When the deputies arrived, the two suspects started running, and after a brief chase, they were both arrested. At this hour, Bryce Davis and Klein Johnson are facing charges of burglary and resisting an officer. Keeping you up to speed on a consumer alert happening in Pasco County. The sheriff's office now warning residents about a jury duty scam. Scammers are claiming to be PSO members, even using actual employee names. They call neighbors saying that you missed jury duty and you owe a fee. Scammers then ask the fee to be paid through PayPal or another similar account. PSO stresses they're never going to be calling residents for any sort of payment to resolve issues like this. If you get a call from a scammer, you should hang up.
After the Bucks lost to the Falcons on Thursday, the referees received a lot of blame for missing calls. But coming up, there's one area where the Bucks can only blame themselves.
My home is that this room is filled with volunteers and people in the community that need it the most.
I'm Courtney Robinson. The hurricane changed lives, and we know so many of you want to reach out. One way to find out how to help is going to volunteerflorida.org. You'll find groups like Feeding Tampa Bay. They're giving out shelf-stable foods in the hardest-hit communities. You can volunteer at feedingtampabay.org. 10 to be recover.
Coming up on 10:14, welcome back to 10 Tampa Bay. Not one, but two wins for TPA this morning. Tampa International Airport now officially the best large airport in the nation. The airport took back the title after finishing second last year by USA Today readers. You might recall us telling you that the airport and some of its restaurants were up for 5 total USA Today awards. TPA also won the best airport for dining. The airport says this is the first time it has placed first in the contest. First. Love it.
No surprise here. I mean,
I love our airport.
I'm always
It's
talking
the
about
greatest.
TPA.
Yeah, with Phoebe and getting to
Folks
see
say,
the,
what do you like about Tampa? Well, I do start with the airport. The food, the airport, the people, the Jenny Deans.
The Mike Gringley's.
Oh, stop.
All right, so we got a lot of weather to get
We
to.
do.
So
we're keeping it
you're
real.
the man of the hour.
Okay.
Everybody needs to know what's happening. First with how we get prepared for ourselves today for the coming days.
Right, and every storm's different, but just keep in mind, we are talking about another tropical system, not a Helene, so we're standing by that. Not looking for a huge storm surge at this point. We're looking for a system that will develop and likely move towards South Florida by the middle of next weekend. We will feel some impacts here at home, but today, blue skies, we're counting our blessings here. Here's the Ocean Honda Port Richey. There's the flag blown out of the east, okay? So the east wind is a beast with the heat, as we know, especially when you're not calling for much impact. 83 degrees, as you can see, already feeling like the low to mid 90s out there. Throughout the area, warming up nicely, low to mid 80s from Crystal River to Zephyr Hills. Good morning, 82. Always appreciate you watching. We head down to Sarasota. I'm thinking about you in Bradenton and all the cleanup going on. We've got a great cleanup day with temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Next 12 hours, here it is. Well, our weather pick of the week includes plenty of sunshine today and just a 20% chance of a shower even this evening. Yeah, let's take it easy. Hopefully you very low chance of rain, but things will change. All right, so let's take a look. We got the good news and then, this not so good news. We're talking about by Sunday afternoon, especially Sunday night into Monday, could be a round of heavy rain. So you see the red here. That's our weather impact alert. That's weather that nature takes up to the next level, really impacting our lives in an extra way. So here in Tampa, we're used to the rain, but in this case, when we're talking a flash flood threat, what we've been through with Helene, with Debbie, we got to really take it easy and stay with us and keep checking in with our 10 Tampa Bay apps, and of course watch us on air. Sunday into Monday, rounds of rain pick up. Right now looks like 1, 2, 3 inches on average, and I think the bigger rains would come as we head toward the middle of the week, Tuesday and Wednesday. But again, get everything tarped up, clear the drains and the clogged drains, and just we're going to do our best we can together, because look at tomorrow. Notice the rain chances go way up, especially by 4 o'clock. And again, some of these gully washers could cause some flash flooding around the area. Here's why. Well, radar right now is quiet, so we're verifying the forecast, but we're watching 2 areas of deep tropical moisture. Our weather team's been talking about this for the last week or so. Our first area offshore will not organize into a system, so that part of the forecast worked out well, but unfortunately to the west, we've got a second area we're watching. So first blob you see here, number 1 coming through as we head into late Sunday into Monday. This could affect our ride to school and to work. Just keep that in mind as it moves across the peninsula. Then the second one, this is a little more bullish. This is the latest information showing a better chance of at least a tropical storm, maybe a Cat 1 hurricane heading toward Florida. Right now, based on high pressure being to its north, I'm favoring the track more toward Fort Myers and South Florida at this time. So we'll watch that. And based on that, with too much high pressure to the north, that would keep our winds offshore, not onshore. So I'm not expecting a major storm surge in this type of scenario as we look at the pattern. So here it is, big impacts. We need to know this. Sunday afternoon through Wednesday, that's our weather impact alert. The main impacts, tropical downpours, 3 to 6 inches of rain plus, higher amounts to the south, closer to the track, lighter amounts to the north, and that flash flood threat. So make sure you stay tuned, clear those storm drains, protect exposed areas, tarp up, and we'll get through this together. 7-day forecast, I do have more good news. All right, so first of all, today's the good news. There's the heavy rain coming in Sunday into Monday. A little lull in the rain Monday, late Monday into Tuesday, and then late Tuesday into Wednesday mornings when we could see that possible landfalling tropical system, which would be Milton. We'll have that on the hurricane update. But notice what happens late week. We clear out and cool down.
Now, this is 10 Tampa Bay Sports.
Coming up next on 10 Tampa Bay, saying goodbye to technology and hello to old-fashioned conversation. In just 4 minutes, the phone-free club looking for new members. We're going to take a live look out at St. Pete on this beautiful Saturday morning. Yes, we are using this weekend to prepare for another tropical system, but if you just need some R&R today, this is the time to take it, because we do have a beautiful Saturday on tap for you. We'll be right back.
Ten Tampa Bay is sponsored by Integrity Home Solutions, where details matter.
We are your hurricane headquarters here at 10 Tampa Bay, and as of 11, I am expecting a tropical depression 14 to be issued by the National Hurricane Center. So that's what we're keeping our eye on. Yes, we've got Kirk and Leslie out in the open Atlantic, wave off Africa, but all eyes a little closer to home, unfortunately, back toward the southwestern areas of the Gulf of Mexico, with that likely of a hood of a tropical depression as we head into the next hour or so. The hurricane hunters will check it out. You can see why. The showers and storms starting to blossom, become a little better organized. You see the big swirl here, a little more symmetry as we head in through today, tonight, and tomorrow. And then for us, I think the biggest impacts with this tropical system, which would likely be called Milton, would be on Tuesday, late Tuesday, into the first part of Wednesday as it makes a move toward, right now I have southwest Florida, but again, that's still to be determined. And based on what I'm seeing with high pressure to the north and the latest pressure ridges and the very pressure falls and rises I'm seeing across the maps, it would favor this to stay a little bit farther to the south. Not a Helene we're talking here, not nearly the size, and at this point I'd favor more of an offshore wind than an onshore wind, which is good news with a lower impact storm surge, but still early to call that, and just keep checking back for the latest information. There's our latest. The next storm would be Milton. European showing our first round of heavy rain with our weather impact alert going into effect late Sunday and Monday. That'll be our disorganized low, and then our more organized to keep you informed, prepared, and connected.
All right, Mike, we know you're staying on top of it. Thank you so much. Research shows the average person spends 3.5 hours on their smartphones every day. And now there's a new movement. It's trying to get people to disconnect to reconnect. Tina Kraus introduces us to the Unplugged Club. So please put your phones down and pay attention. Coming up in our next half hour, as the cleanup from Helene continues, more rain on the way. We have just gotten the official word that is Tropical Depression 14. Was just chatting with meteorologist Mike Prangley, has formed in the Gulf. 10 Tampa Bay's Nick Volturo is joining us live in minutes with how you can begin to prepare and how the city of Tampa is helping out as well.
Keeping you informed, prepared, and connected. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay.
I'm Nick Volturo. We are live in Tampa, where the city is setting up some extra sandbag loading any chances. We're going to tell you all about it coming up next.
Definitely a busy spot. Thank you, Nick. Keeping you and your family safe. There's a new law cracking down on criminals using AirTag tracking. We'll get to that story later. But first, good Saturday morning to you. I am Jenny Dean. Of course, the forecast is what everybody is wanting to know. We just got TD14 that formed. Meteorologist Mike Prangley, you've been tracking this all morning as it's been changing literally every hour. There's something new.
It's been escalating hour by hour, and we were expecting a tropical depression based on what we were seeing. And sure enough, the National Hurricane Center has now issued that a tropical depression has formed, Tropical Depression 14, a system showing now circulation, better organization, and unfortunately low wind shear where it's located. So because it's so far to the south in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, you see that big red area, that blob there has been updated now as a tropical depression, and likely based on the latest models, and things have been escalating, does look more likely not just for a tropical storm now, but yes, a Category 1 hurricane maybe as it makes a move toward, yes, Florida as we go into the middle of next week. And based on where the high pressure is setting up, the ridges of high pressure, these things go with the upper level winds. That would steer it more towards southwest Florida. So we'll continue to pinpoint that track as we get closer. And that would again be late Tuesday into Wednesday. Latest Euro model doing a pretty good handle, unfortunately, with this thing. You see the first blob of rain for our weather impact coming late Sunday into Monday. So we're going to tarp everything up today. Enjoy our sunny, beautiful day today, but things will change tomorrow. But that will not be associated with our tropical depression. The second area of heavy rain you're seeing out here in the western Gulf, that's what we're watching. That's what's moving our way here with the upper level winds. And notice how it tightens up a bit. Okay, so that's why I'm thinking at least a tropical storm, maybe a Cat 1 hurricane as it makes a move towards southwest Florida. Notice the brightest reflectivity, the heaviest rain, still our main impact, the flash flooding coming in late Tuesday into Wednesday morning, and then continuing to scoot out to sea with improving conditions by Thursday. So 3-day forecast. Here's our weather pick of the week. We need it. We deserve it. Saturday, just a slight chance of a shower. It's going to be hot. And then here comes the weather impact alert starting late Sunday, Monday, and we've extended it all the way into Wednesday. We'll have a closer look coming up.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. Our meteorologists are on top of this storm, and we can help keep you up to date on the weather. So you need to download our free 10 Tampa Bay app. Once you have that, you can even get push alerts if weather is going to impact you in your neighborhood. Well, the city of Tampa urging people to get prepared ahead of this storm. Of course, it could be hitting the Tampa Bay area in the coming days, and this could bring more flooding at the same time that many across our area are still recovering from Hurricane Helene and even Tropical Storm Debbie. Now, in just the last hour, Tampa Mayor Jane Castor held a news conference to talk about what the city is doing. 10 Tampa Bay, Nick Valtori. Nick, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, and you know, Jenny, you were out in this area during the storm, and you know how badly the Tampa Bay area was hit, especially areas like Davis Island, Palmetto Beach, even off Gandy in the West Shore area. So badly damaged, Davis Island, all badly damaged by this storm. So much flooding. And as you can see, there's really nobody who wants to take a chance this time around. So many people showed up. We were talking to police. They said they had no idea that there would be this many people coming out to this sandbag site here at the Heim Sports Complex. There have been so many people, hundreds of people, loading up their 10 sandbags, not taking the risk with that severe weather threat looming over the next few days. And you know, that's the other thing. And one of the big things she wanted to mention was a lot of these electric vehicles. She said they saw so many fires because of these electric vehicles, and she's really hoping that people park them at higher ground, do not have them plugged in, because any of that rain, we saw how many fires it caused, dozens and dozens of fires because of those lithium batteries. And this is the real thing. A lot of these people say they're really not willing to risk it this time. They're loading up on sandbags. Some people have even been taking multiple trips, safety precautions before Tampa Bay.
Nick, thank you so much. Well, many of you may want to head out onto the water to take a break from all of the cleanup. But officials are warning there could still be storm debris beneath the surface of the water, and it could damage your boat or even the engine. Right now, crews are working to remove the debris from local waterways.
This is just a small fraction of what's been collected so far since the hurricane. And every day, they're bringing in more and more every day.
Most there to navigate around if you really aren't keeping your eyes open.
Boaters are encouraged to give public safety and first responders time to clear those waterways. They're asking that you stay boat aware if you do decide to set sail. And many of you also lost cars in the flooding, and you could now be trying to figure out how to get to Insurance Village because you want to get your questions answered. Well, in Pinellas County, PSTA is offering free service this weekend to help get you there. The buses run every 30 minutes from 9 to 5 and travel between the St. Pete Beach access point to the Clearwater Marina. They'll make stops at the shelters along Gulf Boulevard. Just look for the buses that say Insurance Village. As you're waking up this morning, Tampa police want to warn you to be on the lookout for FEMA impersonators. It's all part of a larger ID theft scam. Police say you can spot an impersonator by checking for an official photo ID badge and looking for logos on their vehicle. FEMA never charges application or inspection fees, and FEMA staff will only contact you from official channels. Never give out your personal information, and to report fraud, call 1-800-323-8603. We're not the only ones impacted by Hurricane Helene. The storm surge and rising floodwaters also caused some issues for manatees. Sky 10 captured video of 5 manatees stranded at Serenity Memorial Gardens in Largo. A family visiting the cemetery first spotted the sea cows last week and flagged the facility to get them some help. On Friday, a team of about 50 marine life rescue workers were out there working to move them back where they belong. Some people who watched the rescue say it was an inspiring distraction from what's been a tough week.
Trauma and devastation, and you see something that brings your heart up a little bit. Yeah, it helps.
To have a little bit of joy come in at a time like this, it's refreshing for us.
And this is not the only rescue. FWC says they've already rescued 4 other manatees, and they have another 8 in the Big Bend area that still need help. Well, as you work to recover, there are a lot of resources that can help make you whole again. And we want to make sure that you can find everything you need. Just go to 10tampabay.com/recovery. Also this week, a new state law went into effect. It cracks down on tracking devices like AirTags and increasing criminal penalties for people who track others without their consent. People can use them to track individuals by dropping them in a purse or hiding one in a car. The new law raises the penalty from a misdemeanor to a felony, and it could send someone to prison for up to 5 years. The law also makes some exceptions when it comes to tracking. It includes parents tracking children or a caregiver of an elderly person. The new law is in criminal investigations. Time now is 10:40. Let's take a look at what's making headlines in consumer news. U.S. employers continue to hire new workers at a rapid pace. The Labor Department says the economy added 254,000 jobs in September, much more than analysts predicted. The unemployment rate dropped to 4.1%. Restaurants and bars led the way, adding 69,000 jobs last month, well above the monthly average of 14,000. And take a look at your screen. If you've bought this Breyers vanilla ice cream in the last 8 years, you may soon get some cash. A $9 million settlement alleges that the company used false advertising of its natural vanilla flavors when it actually contained non-vanilla plant flavors. The settlement rewards cash payments to those who can prove their purchase by February of 2025. All right, we are just days away from the 2024 presidential election. We're talking 30 days. We follow campaign efforts from both sides of the ballot this morning.
This shook me to my core. This is the community that I love.
We're cleaning up, and it's one step at a time.
It's the worst disaster I've ever seen.
If you have questions, let us help. Visit 10tampabay.com/recovery.
We know that we're going to get through it, as we always have, as a family and as a community.
As we come together after the storm.
My home is that this room is filled with volunteers.
Watch 10 Tampa Bay and stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus as our community recovers.
Welcome back to 10 Tampa Bay. We're coming up on 10:45. Dog lovers unite. There's a big reason to celebrate our four-legged friends. Research shows that dogs can ease symptoms of depression and anxiety. They can also give you a boost of dopamine and serotonin. Those are the feel-good chemicals. Dogs also encourage exercise, which is, of course, beneficial for both our mental and our physical health. By going on walks, you're also more likely to be social, meeting other people along the way. And if you can't have a dog yourself, well, there are other options to reap the benefits.
Volunteering at a pet shelter or visiting a loved one who does have an animal, offering to pet sit if your residence allows that, spending a few hours with an animal, a dog, can do the same that it does for a pet owner. It can lower your anxiety, lower your depression.
Now, if you're not a dog person, that's okay. Having any kind of pet can give you a sense of purpose, and it can certainly boost your mental health. Nothing better than after a long day at work when you get home and my Molly girl crawls into my lap and just like lays there and just kind of grounds me. I get to pet her. It's just, it brings down all of that anxiety for sure.
Yes, and those dog cams help as well. So my daughter has one where she checks in on the dog, keep everybody calm there. So
well, we need it right now.
We do.
I mean, people are getting anxious about the weather.
There's anxiety, and it's to be understood based on what we went through. We do have another system coming our way. It looks like the middle of next week. All indications are, yes, tropical depression 14 out on any minute now. But we're a little ahead of the curve here. We do have a new tropical depression here in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. So if you're just tuning in, things have escalated quickly, okay, since late last night. Okay, so we're talking about a system that's still going to move toward Florida, likely as at least a tropical storm, maybe even a Cat 1 hurricane. So we're going to stay prepared. That would be Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Elsewhere in the Atlantic, of course, watching Leslie and Kirk. But basically what prompted this is we've had a blossoming, so to speak, of those showers and thunderstorms around the center of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico, and as a result, we now have a new tropical depression. Notice the heavy really impact us until Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday, so keep that in mind. The rain we're going to see this weekend especially tomorrow, late tomorrow into Monday, would be from a disturbance or an area of low pressure that's not going to develop. So as we take a look at the big picture, let's take a look. We got number 1 and 2 lined up. So number 1, here's some of that heavy rain coming in with our weather impact alert officially kicking in late Sunday afternoon. Number 2, this is the one I'm watching. The rest of us are watching, and we need to keep this away from home. But unfortunately, it's going to continue to go with the steering currents in the atmosphere. Right now, high pressure ridge to the north, and it's going to continue to stay to the south of that. And what I'm thinking here is that high pressure will be a little stronger and hopefully push it a little farther south. Okay, and this also is not a big storm like we saw with Helene. It should be a much weaker system, but again, showing some really good organization here and could ramp up pretty quickly to at least a Category 1 hurricane as it approaches southwest Florida. And again, that would be during the day Tuesday. Latest European model really shows the trends. First round of rain coming through Sunday into Monday, and then there it is. We've got our tropical system, Milton will be its name, moving toward anywhere from near the Keys up toward Tampa. Okay, so that's the track right now. Right now, I'd favor it a little toward Fort Myers based on what I'm seeing with the upper level winds. But again, we'll continue to fine tune that track as well. We take a look at the rainfall, European rainfall. One thing's for sure, our weather team's been talking about it, storm or no storm. Main impact still would be the flash flooding coming in. We got 3 to 6 inches plus of rain where you see the yellow and the red shading, and that will really start to pick up again as we head into late tomorrow, Monday, and especially Tuesday into Wednesday. So again, weather impact alerts, keep checking back. We're here for you Sunday afternoon through Wednesday. Tropical downpours, may have to add some wind to that, and based on the track right now, still keeping that storm surge in the low range. But again, if that track keeps coming farther north, we could have some more impacts with that. But right now, we're staying optimistic on that front. Clear those storm drains, protect exposed areas, get those tarps out, and we're going to be here for you, okay? Just like we were with Helene. 3-day forecast shows today, the day we've all been waiting for. Finally, a mainly dry one, low rain chances. Downpours start coming in Sunday, Monday. There's our weather impact where you see the red there, Sunday into Monday. And then notice today, just a few clouds this evening. So even this evening for those plans look good. Then tomorrow, notice the change as that rain picks up. But the rain with our system Milton not picking up until Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's our highest chances of rain coming as we go into Thursday and Friday of next week, even with some cooler weather there for you, Jenny Dean.
Yeah, I will take the cooler weather for sure after a couple of weeks of bad weather. Thank you so much, Mike. We know that you're keeping an eye on things for us. You know, there are 30 days left in the race for the White House, and both Vice President Harris and former President Trump, they were in battleground states yesterday. Today, Trump is returning to Butler, Pennsylvania, the site of the assassination attempt against him back in July. Bradley Blackburn is tracking the latest in the race. And now's a good time to make sure you're prepared to vote this November. The deadline to register to vote is in just days. It's October 7th. And the deadline to request a mail-in ballot is coming up too. That's October 24th. Early voting begins just 2 days later and goes through November 2nd. Election day is November 5th.
We know that these kiddos are going to come to us charged with many previous trauma. But we need to give that parent, that foster parent, as much support as well.
Coming up, building a support network across the foster care system in just 3 minutes, how one group is creating a web of support for the community. Welcome back to 10 Tampa Bay. You've no doubt heard it takes a village to raise a child. In this morning's Forever Family, that could not ring truer than for kids that are in foster care. In this morning's Forever Family segment, we visit with One More Child. It's an organization here in the Tampa Bay area that not only recruits foster parents, but also walks alongside them after a child is placed in their home.
Wonderful story there. Not so wonderful in the tropics. We officially, it's the 11 a.m. update. We're waiting for the latest word from the National Hurricane Center. We do have a new tropical depression, number 14. Likely will be Tropical Storm Milton during the day Monday, and then possibly, unfortunately, a Cat 1 hurricane heading toward Florida by Tuesday into Wednesday. So make sure you keep checking back. We'll continue with updates on social media throughout the day. And notice we do have that weather impact alert starting tomorrow, late tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But the big impacts from Milton would be Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, get those.
For that today.
We're going to be following it for you. We are back later tonight, and thank you so much for watching 10 Tampa Bay.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 10 Tampa Bay Plus app everywhere you stream.